One more thing. Which way did they go?
The same way I took you, monsieur, toward Rennes le Chateau.
Hello there, mademoiselle.
Bonjour. Where is it you wish to go?
I'm already there. Did two men with a trunk come in from Paris yesterday evening?
We had 3 arrivals last night from Paris, but I have no idea who they were.
Do you know where they went?
Mais no. We only keep a record of the number who arrive, and only that because there is some talk of cutting service to Guisa. We have few visitors, and most of them come by auto.
Do you have a record of a man getting off the Naples train last night?
There was no train from Naples last night, monsieur. We have very limited service.
Is that so? What other trains had passengers disembark last night?
Un moment. There was 1 passenger from Rome, none from Madrid, 2 from Nice earlier in the day.
Great, thanks. Buccelli is lying. Either he didn't take the train at all, or he didn't take the one he says he took.
Hello. May I help you?
I hope so. The name is Knight. Gabriel Knight. The Abbé at Rennes le Chateau recommended you as a Templar scholar.
Did he now?
Yep. He said, go talk to Larry Chester about the Templars. And then he said, and let me know what you think.
Well, in that case, you'd better come in. Can I get you some tea?
No, thank you.
Now then, what can I do for you, Mr. Knight?
The Abbé mentioned that you're working on a book.
Yes, I'm a historian.
And you're writing about the Templars?
Oh, exactly. This area is rich in Templar history. That's why I thought I'd come here to write. It's a kind of sabbatical, really.
A sabbatical from what?
I teach at a prep school in Manchester.
I read in the museum that several of the Templar founders and the Grand Master were from this region.
That's true. They also had several bases here and owned a great deal of land. The Chateau de Serres, for example, was built on top of an old Templar fortress.
Why were the Templars accused of heresy?
There are many theories, but most scholars agree that King Philip was jealous of their authority. He wanted to confiscate their land and their reputed treasure. Unfortunately, the Templars themselves helped him make his case. They boasted of the secrets they'd learned in the Holy Land.
Secrets?
Mystical secrets from Kabbalists and Arabic astronomers. Of course, to Christendom this was nothing but witchcraft. Those who confessed were released. Those who did not were burnt at the stake, including the last Grand Master, Jacques Molay.
And they dissolved completely after that?
The Knights Templar were no more, yes.
Is there any reason to think the Templars left something here, specifically?
It's not unknown that the Templars were digging in the region. They claimed they were mining the old Roman gold veins, but they hired only German workers who couldn't communicate with the locals. Naturally, that led to some speculation.
The Templars had a lot of wealth, right? Gold, money, land.
Absolutely.
And that's one possibility for the alleged local treasure? The Templar stash?
Yes, but
You don't think so?
they had warning before their arrest. Perhaps some chose to believe that the church would ultimately protect them, but they had enough sense to move the treasure.
To where?
There are various locations. Ireland and Scotland have a great deal of Templar history, for example.
Madame Girard mentioned that the Holy Grail is sometimes linked to the Templars.
It is, yes. In many of the early Grail legends, the knights were described as templars, wearing the white mantle with a red cross.
She said something about them actually finding the Grail in the Holy Land. Do you think that's possible?
Yes.
So you think the Templars found the Holy Grail in Jerusalem and brought it back here?
Let me put it this way. When the Templars were founded in 1118, there were 9 knights. Their stated purpose was to protect pilgrims on the road. But for years they did nothing of the sort. They were given quarters in the Temple of Solomon by King Bedouin himself. There they stayed, and there they excavated for 9 years. Then, in 1128, they changed completely. They returned to Europe and began recruiting. Their wealth and power grew on an unprecedented curve.
So you do think they found the Grail?
I think you're taking the legend of the Grail a little too literally. As with many things of the Middle Ages, it was often wiser and safer to speak in allegory.
What's the Holy Grail an allegory of?
I have a feeling that will come to light sometime in the next decade.
If the Templars smuggled out their treasure, wouldn't that sort of blow the Grail theory?
Perhaps there were some things that were too large or too, shall we say, localized to take with them. No, they left something behind in the Languedoc. You can be sure of that, Mr. Knight.
Thanks for the info, Mr. Chester.
You're most welcome. What is your interest in the Templars, if you don't mind my asking?
No, I don't mind. Thanks again. Hey, Wilkes, how's it going?
Peachy. What are you doing out here?
Just taking in the sights. L'Ermitage. Cute.
Yeah, right.
Say, mind if I ask about your machine?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, come on. What is it? You trying to call it a giant sandworm or what?
For your information, Knight, this is highly delicate scientific equipment.
Yeah, so is a worm thumper. So, see anything headed this way? Should we head for the rocks?
Shut the hell up, Knight.
Look, it's a giant worm. Get out the harpoons.
Ah, for Christ. This is a seismic survey machine, Knight. Now shut the hell up before I thump you.
A seismic survey machine? What's it do?
Forget it, Knight. Get your own damn theory.
You really think there's a treasure out here?
Oh, there's a treasure, all right, mate.
Yeah? What do you think it is?
You know what Sonia's girlfriend said, don't you? People are walking around on gold and don't even know it. The Romans, mind you. And back then, they knew how to use slave labour, right? Plus all them kings that was around here. Those guys had regular hordes of valuables, and some of it's bound to have gotten lost.
Well, I guess so.
And the bloke that finds it is going to be flat out stinking rich. And I'll tell you a secret, mate. That bloke is going to be me.
So, you don't think the treasure's related to the Grail?
Holy Grail. Yeah, that's the right one. Did you know the Nazis crawled all over this valley looking for it?
No.
What a bunch of jackasses. Hey, I was thinking, if I find an old enough cop, right? Maybe one with some jewels and shit on it, I could pass it off for the Grail. Especially if it came from around here.
Gee, there's an idea.
Sure. If Hitler believed all that mystical crap, there's got to be somebody else who'll believe it. Maybe dish out some serious cash.
Fancy meeting a girl like you in a place like this.
Oh, hello, Monsieur Knight.
Sightseeing, are we?
I am refreshing my memory for tomorrow.
Tomorrow? You mean for that tour thing? So what's so special about this place?
Nothing. And anyway, you are not taking the tour, so why do you care?
You got a point there. Now what is she up to?
Oh, hi, Gabe.
It's Gabriel, you flatfoot. What are you doing here?
Me? Oh, just looking around.
I thought you said you were busy this afternoon.
I am busy. I'm busy looking around. And if I'd wanted my mother along, I would have invited her, Knight.
Okay, all right. Forget I mentioned it. So, why are you looking around here?
I saw the sign and it looked interesting, okay? The Dead Man. Now, doesn't that sound like something I'd find interesting?
How do you know l'homme mort meant the dead man? Your French is worse than mine.
I saw it in a guidebook. Look, why don't you go catch some kidnappers, will you?
I could swear he's up to something. I just don't know what. It looks like the cavalry has arrived.
Gabriel, are you all right?
Why? Is my hair messed up? I'm Knight. Prince James told me to be expecting you.
Is there somewhere more private where we can talk?
Yeah, I have a room. Come on up.
Here's your fee, Mr. Knight. Prince James wanted me to express his gratitude to you for tracking the kidnappers.
Yeah.
Have you learned anything since this morning?
I checked at the train station. The taxi driver saw the two men in the trunk. They were picked up by a black sedan. He didn't get the model, but he said it looked expensive.
Did he say which way they went?
They headed for the main valley loop.
Anything else?
Well, I haven't seen any trace of the baby, but there's a tour group staying here. Most of them arrived last night. None of them are the men from the train, but they might be linked somehow. Emilio Bazza and a Signore Buccelli arrived at the hotel around the time of the Paris train. Buccelli claims he came in on a train from Naples, but Cuiza doesn't have a Naples route.
It's very curious. We'll look into it.
Wait, there's something I didn't tell Prince James on the phone.
Yes?
When I was coming to on the train, I heard one of the kidnappers say something in French. I remember the word Saint Grail. It means Holy Grail. Do you have any idea what the Holy Grail might have to do with Prince James' son?
I'm sorry. We're not authorized to discuss Prince James's affairs. But thank you for your observations. Good night. Miss Nakamura, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yes, you too. Thanks for the lift.
Goodbye, Miss Nakamura. Mr. Knight?